Welcome to the circle.
It's the cycle of life.
The cycle of life.
The cycle of life.
The cycle of life. The cycle of life.
The cycle of life.
Oh boy, are you guys in for a treat.
Cycle of life.
Currently sitting at a respectable 2.8 on IMDb, this has to be one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen. So sit right down and open your eye holes because you're in for a Halloween treat.
This is some multi-dimensional kung fu we're getting into here, boy.
Meet Greg. He's decided to take his daughter Samantha on a camping trip where they're viciously attacked by a bear. And the production didn't have any money to hire a bear or create a CGI one, so they had to tell us in dialogue.
Looks like a bear attack.
Somehow the daughter survives the attack completely unscathed and is able to get help from a nearby cult. Well, we don't know they're a cult yet, but we'll get to that. So Greg wakes up all bloody and bandaged with two women hovering over him, kinda like my Saturday morning.
Correct. That was a lie.
And naturally he asks where his daughter is.
Oh, Samantha. She's in bubble class.
Yes, we get to see Bubble Class in action, but Samantha refuses to take off this creepy-ass mask, and I'm like, how do you blow bubbles with that thing? Can we also recognize the random kid mannequins just chilling around? You'd think Greg would be like, hey, what's with all the mannequins? But nope, they're just, there. There's also no acknowledgement that Greg was just attacked by a bear, and, maybe he should go to a hospital. So the girls are excited to introduce Greg to their leader, Matthew, and honest to God, I'm just gonna let this scene play out unedited. This is the dialogue.
So.
Yeah. So.
So, you'd think Greg would want his daughter and maybe go to a hospital, but instead he takes a nap and wakes up in the middle of the night to find the cult members eating someone alive. He rushes to save his daughter, but when he can't find her nor his cell phone, he does what any of us would do in this situation and goes to bed. And when he wakes up the next morning, instead of looking for his kid, he decides to find his car. Real father of the year material. Unfortunately, his keys are back in the house with those cannibals, so he has to go back in there, retrieve them, and escape with his daughter. But when he actually gets her, she's like,
I hate you! That's fine. I don't want to go!
Sam, You fucked up, buddy.
yeah, she's been here for half a day after surviving a bear attack and is already like, fuck you, Dad, I want to go to Bubble Class.
You know. Bubble class.
So he has to go after his daughter once again, but runs across a mannequin copy of himself. I hate when that happens. Now, I don't know who keeps moving these mannequins around, it's never really explained, and I have no idea how they got this replica of his shirt, but hey, let's just go with it. So the mannequin holds up a mirror up to Greg, where he is somehow transported to a cabin to meet the entity known as Percy Stevens. Yes, the evil demon thing in this story is called Percy Stevens, and Greg here pleads for his life.
I need to live. It is imperative that I live. Cannot die, okay?
Then he's brought back to reality when two of the girls decide to throw fishing hooks at him.
God damn it, what the...
Look at those rods, it's like what I'd give my 4-year-old niece. Anyway, obviously those dinky fish hooks aren't gonna keep him in line, oh the puns are terrible, so Sky comes along and straight up nails a harpoon through his face and kills him. We're a third through the movie and our main character has died, so the screenwriter's like, oh shit, we should probably introduce some new characters. Meet Gabriella, James, and Grady, none of whom have any connection to the guy we just spent a half hour following. James and Gabriella have hired Grady to infiltrate the circle and bring their friend Rebecca, one of its members, back.
All I know is he has my wife, and I want her back. He can go fuck himself.
Okay, if this is how you treat the guy who's gonna bring back your wife, I don't think things are gonna go over really well. Grady's like that one guy from Jaws who knows like everything that they're going up against.
Black eyes like a doll's eye.
He spends 10 minutes telling them all about the history of the Circle's founder, Percy Stevens, which has no impact on the story whatsoever.
Yeah. Percy. Here's a guy who trained combat elephants in Malaysia. He was a renowned theater director in Austria. New Zealand national chess champion 3 years running. He was a world-class spelunker at age 14. Master puppeteer, ventriloquist, hypnotist, spiritualist, and this was all before he was recruited as a special ops diver for the US Navy in 1950.
Meanwhile, Sam finds members of the Circle eating her dad. She runs away and Sky runs after her, stabbing mannequins in the children's cabin.
Little liars!
And here's Sam with her masterful hiding. Oh, I should have mentioned that earlier in the film, the Circle picked up a new member named Tina.
Everyone, this is Tina. I picked her up on the overpass.
She's actually an informant working for Grady. Her codename is Firecat.
Firecat, shut up and answer my question.
What's wrong?
Who's Firecat?
She made the unfortunate mistake of calling Grady from the bathroom, and the others overhear her call, so they do what they always do and make a mannequin of her. With this informant dead, Grady and the team have to head in blind.
If you're restless, stick your thumb up your ass.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't the clip.
Plans change. I planned for that too.
Impromptu dancing around the mannequins. So when these guys get off their mobile home, I guess that's what you drive when you're staging a kidnapping?
I'm not plotting a bat mitzvah here. This is kidnapping.
Grady immediately says he's going off on his own. Yep, it's the stereotypical horror movie trope of splitting everyone up. James says he has to use the outhouse, and I'm like, why don't you just use the one in the RV? Why do you choose this creepy ass one?
Oh, shit. Sorry, dude. Wait, what?
Like, how they even got that mannequin ready in time, they would have had to know he was coming, but it's never explained. There's also this backstory that James and Gabriella used to be a thing, but that too isn't explored.
No, you hit on me. I was drunk.
And you are the one who told her. Now look at where we are.
So Grady enters the main cult house and just starts like tossing shit and spilling tea everywhere. He also has this habit of when people ask him something, he won't answer it twice.
It's a facade.
What?
Nothing. Smoke and mirrors.
What?
Nothing.
Grady ends up regrouping with Gabriella and reveals that he actually grew up with the Circle. His mom and him used to be members, but for some reason he doesn't know how a lot of the stuff in the Circle works. Like, for example, the outhouse door is a portal to the shack in the distance. Grady and Gabriella go into the shack, then somehow get stuck in this upside down world where Grady tells her the key to escaping is to do nothing.
The thing we have to do is nothing.
Wow, this is gonna be an exciting movie if for the last half hour we watch them do jack shit. So James is now with this spirit of Percy Stevens who has taken over the body of Tina, aka Firecat. We all still following along? Good. And honestly, he makes a great plea as to why he should go to heaven.
But look! I did the thing! I did the church thing!
Sam comes to save Grady, but Gabriella can't come with them. Apparently, if you aren't or weren't a member of the Circle, your brain explodes if you try to leave. But later she gets out somehow, it's never explained. So Grady gives her his guns, even though he's the one going back out into the real world, which kinda makes no sense. Sam takes Grady to her dead father, but it's just the mannequin of him. Sam leads Grady to Percy's cabin where he confronts the spirit of Percy Stevens. We learn that Percy was eaten by a shark and somehow became the greatest entity the universe has ever known. Yeah, it's starting to derail here. She shows him a picture of himself as a child and... Meanwhile, the other cult members have dressed James up as a scuba diver. I think it has something to do with them trying to recreate Percy's shark attack death, but who cares at this point? Skye just ends up shooting him with a harpoon until they're held at near point-blank range by Gabriella. And instead of, putting your hands up and trying to talk things out, they do this. Wait, let's see that again. Look at the CGI gunshot. Oh god. Now I don't know what the hell happened here, but look at the background. Her scenes were clearly shot at nighttime while the others were shot during the day. With James dead, the spirit of Percy takes over him. I guess it kind of works that whoever was the last one to die, the spirit takes over. And out of nowhere, a younger version of Grady just starts railing on him. But don't worry everyone, Sam comes in and beats the crap out of him. But with all these deaths happening so suddenly, Percy has somehow morphed into his real form and turns into a marionette because, okay, he's pretty easy to escape from, like he's just on strings and stuff, but Grady doesn't make it out. Now Sam is like turned into some Terminator kid. She stabs Skye in the head and tries to kill Rebecca, but Gabriella shoots Rebecca with the tranq gun before any more damage can be done. Now, are you all ready for the big twist? When Grady was taken by Percy, he somehow took over Sam's body. We know this because throughout the film we see Grady using eye drops, and in this final scene where Gabriella escapes with Sam and Rebecca is tied up, Sam puts eye drops in her eyes. Ooh, spooky. Or she just has allergies. And the film ends, thank God, with Sam wearing that creepy mask as the RV motors away. Now if you're looking for something to scare you this Halloween, don't watch this, there's always Hubie Halloween. Thanks for watching everyone. If you liked the video, check out my other Think Story takedowns. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share share, and give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember, Daddy loves you very much.